This is how we solve a client's problem. When he asks about a property for investment that has significantly depreciated in value compared to his purchase price in the beginning. And I can say that it is a very common problem for even high income or high net worth clients of ours. Now here's the context. The property was purchased at about 880,000 5 years ago with a 90% loan of about 800,000 at a 4% interest over 360 months, paying around 3,008 every month to the bank, and he's receiving about 3,005 of gross rental a month, so that results in a slight deficit. 5 years ago, client was 35 years old when the loan was taken and is now 40 years old. Current market price, when he checked, realized about 650,000 only. So despite that 150,000 kind of depreciation, of course the consolation or the silver lining is that rental income is pretty consistent, although it has been stagnant for the past few years due to an oversupply kind of situation when it comes to the rental market in that area. This is more context of what this client wants to do. The goal is to settle the debt by 50 years old without further cash outflow or without further losses. So he's considering whether to force sell the property at the current low price and just cut loss, and it means that incurring extra costs because you still have to pay the banks whatever amount is owed, right? Because you sell the property is not enough to cover the outstanding loan. Or he say whether want to wait to sell, again do not want to incur further losses or cash outflow. So he say if wait, then wait how long? When is the earliest I could sell? So these are the kind of question boggling him. Visually, this client will show you this is how the numbers will look like on an annual basis. Rental income is about 42,000 a year, while the expenses, including mortgage payments, is about 46,000. Of course, I've not included the maintenance fees and all that, or the fire insurance and all that. But even on the best case scenario, you are incurring about 4,000 in annual deficit, right? That's why you see the red portion of the chart, assuming there's no rental increment and all that. Of course, have not yet considered the initial sunk cost of about 40,000 when he actually bought this property. I'll explain more in a while. But this is how the current loan balance, the mortgage balance is after paying for 5 years. So he's left with around slightly more than 700,000. And assuming this is how I would chart out that entire planning in order for me to give this advice, which you would see, there's a few assumptions in this timeline. Is that the property will continue to be fully tenanted and he cannot increase the rental for the next few years, and there's no change in the real property gain tax RPGT guideline. Sell it after 5 years, you should not need to pay any tax on your capital gains. And of course, this assumption we have not factored in. There could be a period where the property is untenanted in the future, or maintenance fees, a few hundred a month. We have not factored that in. These are also certain. So the best case scenario, it could be property price appreciate more than 650,000 in the next few years. But again, conservatively, we do not bank on that happening. We also hope that it does not depreciate further. So, and you can see that over here, this is the sunk cost that I'm talking about, right? When he first invested in this property, of course, have paid the loan, legal fees, and the stamp duty, and the renovation 30,000. So that is about 40,000. But you also have to consider that for the past 5 years, since it's having a deficit of about 4,000 a month, for the past 5 years, that recurred cost is a total up everything. It's about 3,000-4,000 a year, and then for the past 5 years, we're talking about 20,000. That is, I would also consider like a sunk cost. So for the past 5 years, the sunk cost is about 60,000. And looking ahead, if you look at this portion from 43 and 43 to 47, if the property remains rented out or fully tenanted, next 3 years, it will incur an additional cost of about 12,000. And then from 43 to 47 years old, if we still hold on to this property, the recurring cost will be about 16,000, bringing the total sunk cost to about 88,000 if we were to hold that for another 7 years. I'll explain in a while the age 43 and 47 is the kind of age that is important for him. So if you look at this, at 43, this will be the estimated loan balance. It's about 650,000. So at 650,000 is the same level of the property selling price today, assuming it does not drop further and it does not appreciate 3 years from now. Therefore, I would advise clients to consider waiting probably 3 more years before the loan balance should have reduced to around 650,000, which is aligned with the property price, so he is able to break even. Or the second option is he can delay selling that property and hold that for another 7 years. Only sell it. The outstanding loan amount after 7 years would be around 570,000. And you say, okay, 570,000, right? Assuming the property price is 650,000, even 7 years from now. So it could be like a profit of 80,000, 90,000, but actually it's not true, because you should look at it from this way. Selling it at 650,000, 7 years from now, your profit of 80,000, 90,000 is just sufficient or enough for you to recoup the sunk cost for the entire duration that you're holding on this property, which is a total of your deficit over the years, a total of your renovation costs, and a total of whatever incidental cost, your stamp duty and legal fees that you have paid in the beginning. And this is the detailed analysis that guides clients to make this kind of informed decision, right, to achieve what he wants. And all I can share with you here is that it's just a glimpse of what we do, or I do for clients as a consultant or advisor. So you see that when people DM us and they ask, what do you offer, what do you do, how can you help? Well, in general, we help people who are in the juncture or the moment in their life where they're seeking some second opinion, validation before they make one or more important financial decisions or life decisions for their life or for their finances. So in short, I educate, I advise, I coach my clients to plan for their money, wealth, investment better. So doing the thinking for them, and if needed, execute the plan. At the same time, solving their problems, giving them perspective that they have never thought of or have never considered, they have overlooked. And this is one of the many types of wealth management advisory services that we help our clients make better informed money decisions to reduce financial leakages, make their money work harder, more efficiently, and prevent financial leakages. There's a link. You can check out our clients' testimonial, client stories, and scope of services that we provide in more detail. It should be somewhere below above this video or link in bio. But you can also follow for more past and future videos like this recommended on your feed.